welcome to this very special conversation with Suhas and his coach, Gaurav. Gaurav has already been on my show a number of times, and I've celebrated Suhas multiple times already. But it's important that we go deep, or rather do a deep dive and understand the real heroes of this country. So this is one such conversation. Firstly, Suhas, many congratulations. Very proud of what you've done. Everybody knows for a civil services officer and all, you've set the bar higher. Gaurav was telling me your story about how you took to the sport, inspire millions of people going forward. So first thoughts, did you ever, when you met this man in Azamgarh several years back, did you ever imagine you'd be an Olympic medal winner for India, silver medal winning for this country, millions will celebrate you? Ever thought about it?
First of all, thanks, Boria, for having me. Never thought Boria Majumdar, who I used to hear in college, speaking with so much of enthusiasm and commentating about different sports, I would be speaking to Boria Majumdar itself. Is I would say, a dream come true, because I've always been fascinated by your enthusiasm. No, definitely not. The journey of life rather has been quite interesting one for me. Before coming to 2015 and 2016 with Gauravji, let me just go back to my school days or college days, wherein we were only bothered about our immediate goals. When we were in our school colleges, only bothered about getting the marks and getting to the next best college. Wanted to be in the best engineering college, so that I was able to achieve. Fortunate to get into NIT Surathkal. Wanted to get into the best, one of the best MNCs, so that also happened by God's grace. Then wanted to be a civil servant, and that also happened. And then, as they say, sometimes destiny takes such turns you don't expect. So in 2015-16, when I was introduced to Gauravji in Azamgarh, I was a district collector, and I was supposed to go and witness that as a district collector, not as a player then. So, but I used to play decently well at that time also. And when Gauravji saw me playing, he asked me, why don't you come and try your hand in Badminton? So I was quite reluctant at that time to take up the sports in a professional way. So I told him no, and then we exchanged our phone numbers. And one day I was browsing through the website of Badminton World Federation. So I just saw how professional, how beautiful the sport of badminton, which I am extremely passionate about. Badminton is a spiritual experience for me. So it has been throughout my life, and I called up Gauravji. And then he told, after a few months, there is the Asian Championship that is coming up in Beijing. If you are up for it, why don't you prepare, and we can go ahead. So I prepared for Asian Championship. And I remember November 21st of 2016, we landed in Beijing when the temperature was -4 degrees Celsius, freezing cold. And then when we entered the stadium of Beijing, first match was against the Chinese Taipei player who was seeded 5 then. I lost my first set. Second set, I was trailing. So if I had lost my first match against the Chinese Taipei player, I would have not continued probably playing. I would have been out of the group. And I think rest, as they say, I would have never told anybody, and I would not have met Boria Majumdar in my life. But destiny had other plans. Destiny had plans for me to be interviewed by Boria Majumdar at a later point of time. I think I not only won that match, and I won the Asian gold medal in Asian Championship in Beijing. As they say, destiny takes such turns. I never thought I will enter professional sports, but here I am sitting in front of you after winning a Paralympic silver medal. When we win the medal, it's more like heroes on the screen, just like in movies also. But there are so many people behind the screen who have given their support. My family, my late father, Gauravji, and many such people. I would like to thank all of them also. Yes, okay. The journey of life has been extremely interesting one. Yes, Boria.
Yeah. I mean, firstly, it's a privilege to talk to you, and not because you won a medal. I mean, for me, a medal is a logical culmination of a process. For me, somebody who has the passion and the commitment to do this for a country is always a subject of great interest, because I work on life stories. For me, sport is a life lesson. It is a life lesson from adversity to triumph. Gaurav, I'll come to you on that. Why Suhas? What prompted you? I mean, a lot of us play. What did you see in this man when you saw him as district collector coming there to give prizes or whatever as chief guest? What prompted you to zero in on Suhas and from there to here? Tell me about your version of the journey.
Basically, when I had become the coach of a national team in para badminton, the task was not only to train the athletes which are already in the scenario. Since it was supposed to be the part of Olympics in Tokyo in 2020, so that time the as a coach, my vision should have been to search for the new talents for to prepare for the next 4 years. I would definitely say because of that vision only now we have Palak and Suhas as a part of Indian team member, and that is and out of them even Palak played commensively well, and Suhas is now the medalist, silver medalist. So the concern was to search for the players because as of now in India we don't have a data where I can approach to the government or any other agency and to get the players back to on my track. Here I have not only to search player but also to spot player and also to make arrangements to refine them and to train them and to become an elite athlete. Even if I talk about 2028, 2032 and 2036 Olympics, I need to search talents now. Fortunately, Suhas' hand and Suhas' reach and court coverage was good enough. But however, see, nobody inform anyone that a person of a stature like a district collector of any of the renowned district, Azamgarh. So when I saw this thing, I thought to just at least communicate to him, and that he's right on that point, and he was little reluctant. And because initially when you talk about para badminton now, because of these guys who have performed exceptionally well in this Olympics, they might be the role models and the creators, and they might be one of the main reason for changing the perspective of society. But us time kya tha? That time it was just one of the sports, and I have to had to communicate to a district collector for that. Please play that, and you have got the caliber to be outstanding in this field. Although
Okay.
it was a destiny. After 4 5 months, he might have seen the things and came back to me on that.
Fascinating. Suhas, if I can come to you on that, I mean, last year before COVID, you are still a civil servant. You had another responsibility to society. How did you manage? When did you train? How was the routine? How did Gaurav groom you? I mean, give me a sense of, and when we had the second wave, for example, or even the start of the first wave, this country was not aware, the whole world was not aware. When Tokyo got deferred, how did Suhas cope with that? Your responsibility towards society and you, the player.
Yes, that is a very good question. As you know, the responsibility that I hold is a very important one, and it's a very sensitive post that I hold. So I have to devote most part of my day mainly to the responsibility of district collectorship. So starting from around 9 o'clock in the morning till say 9 o'clock in the night, I am mostly devoted to my collectorship. But I do have time before 9 a.m. in the morning or 8 a.m. in the morning, or after 8 p.m. or 10 p.m. depending on the day. So essentially, I used to do the strengthening and the weight, all those the off-court training part in the early mornings, and I used to keep my on-court trainings mostly for late nights. So just like I used to read A.R. Rahman composes music in the night. So I think Suhas also practices badminton in the night. And I remember many days going to the badminton stadium at 12 o'clock in the midnight, or even 1 a.m. in the early mornings. And 11 p.m. in the night is a very normal practice schedule for me because of my work. That can happen only if you are passionate about the game, jaise kehte hai, junoon. So I think badminton is more a spiritual experience for me. What is spirituality? You essentially forget what is the past and the future. You just concentrate on the present. So for me, when I am on the court in badminton, it's more of a spiritual experience. And the job that I do, that also I am very passionate about. Both of them complement each other in a way that I don't get bored or bogged down or tired by doing either the civil service job or the badminton. So it's a good change that I have done my district collectorship part in the daytime, and in the late night time I can play. One sacrifice that I had to do was I did not get to spend much time with the family, because you are either in the office or on the court, that others would generally do, or I would have also liked to do. But then, destiny and God does not give you everything. You only have 24 hours and you have to choose what you want. And now I do have lots of time at my hand I can give to family, and I would like to enjoy the moment that destiny has given
You
me.
should. You should, and absolutely you deserve to. Gaurav, taking from there, now you have role models in front of you. You have created champions who have now become role models. Be it a Pramod Bhagat, be it a Suhas Yathiraj, be it a Manoj Sarkar, all of these people, Krishna, they have now become role models of the country, toast of the country. Everybody is celebrating. In fact, in Kolkata, I was seeing a hoarding. This was 2 days back, where Suhas's photograph and Devendra and Krishna and their photographs were garlanded. And it is a by-lane in Calcutta. I can guarantee it 4 years back or 8 years back, such things would not be seen. And people would call me and say, you're a mad fellow who keeps doing parasport, etc., etc. So this is the real change that I'm seeing. But you tell me now, Gaurav, using these role models, what are you giving us for the future? One thing is to have 5 champions and say, yaar, ho gaya, 4 medal, bahut jeet gaya, chal bhai, khatam. But the 4 can become 14. The 14 can become 40. That's when you can become a multi-sporting nation. Your youth can play. Sport for all can happen. Empowerment can happen. How can Gaurav Khanna make India a multi-sporting nation or contribute towards that through badminton? Tell me that.
As I told before, yes, that's true that these guys have worked hard in the last cycle and the results is in front of everyone. But as what a school principal or a teacher used to do when the session is over. The session is over, result is out, you are congratulating the meritorious students. But this is high time for me to look for new admission now. So the concern is the youngsters need to be spotted, talent has to be searched, and they should be given the opportunity to get the resources to start their training, looking forward the future targets. So me as Gaurav Khanna, what I can do as an individual, because government has got their own resources, they are organized, set up. Even similarly, there are supporters in the everywhere around. So the concern is what I can contribute. I am planning to start a institution sort of thing in the academy, where I still believe the coaches which are currently available in the country, they should be trained about the various classes, SL3, SL4, SU5, WH1, WH2, SS6. Then I wish to invite these coaches who have already done their NIS course. I am already in touch with the professors of Rani Lakshmibai University of Physical Education, where I had already worked with Ministry of Youth Affairs for a long time. I want to invite the coaches to come to our academy for at least 15 days. And since God has been kind and government has recognized me by giving Dronacharya, I think I can sign and giving them the certificate. After I just prepare a syllabus first, which covers the theoretical part. Then these guys will come and interact with the athletes. Manoj, Pramod, Sukant, everyone is there. They can visualize the training of SU5 athletes. They can visualize the training of SL3 athletes. They can visualize the training of wheelchair athletes. Wheelchair sports is also a category which has to be worked upon a lot. It's an expensive sports, because the wheelchair which is required to play as a essential equipment is quite costly. So my concern is, let the coaches come, stay there, eat there, understand the intricate aspects of para badminton, meet these role models, of course, and of course interact with them. Try how to feed the shuttlecock to them. Try what are the code demarcations. Try what are the rules and regulations, and try what type of professional training they used to get since morning up till the end of the day, and also what are the recovery aspects which are essentially required to relax and be ready for the next training session. You need gym, sauna bath, steam bath, ice bath, jacuzzi, hydrotherapy, massage, but everything has to be done in a very professional way. And the coach has to be very cautious, because in any case, the injury should not be aggravated, because the athletes are already having some constraints. So these are the expect when people will come, they'll realize definitely they'll do well when they'll go back to their place and start training.
Okay.
Boria, if I can just add to
Yeah.
what Gauravji said, answering your question, how 4 will become 14 and how 14 will become 40 or 400 and so on. I would like to give answer in a macro perspective. That is, if you look at our able-bodied sports, Government of India has set up its schemes in two different ways. One is you have TOPS at the scheme for elite athletes. Then you have Khelo India for identifying the budding athletes. So TOPS covers elite athletes of para games also, including badminton. So you essentially need a similar structure like Khelo India for all the para sports. That should be one at the national level, wherein you Khelo India, and every state government should have Khelo UP, Khelo Haryana, like that. Essentially, that should be identifying the budding talents, just like Gauravji said. Then you give them many of the athletes, or rather the budding athletes, do have a lot of facilities, including some scholarship amount for diets, etc. So I think in the coming days, I would also definitely propose that here, and I'm sure that is the kind of structure that would come up. Essentially, the Khelo India will lead to TOPS.
Okay, let me now, you both answered the sports part. But for me, what is far also important, if not more important, from these medals is a bigger, you said the macro picture, bigger picture is societal change. Do you think, Suhas, your medal, Gaurav, your students, all of them, are these medals now going to bring about a larger change? Not everybody will be a Suhas Yathiraj going on to win a Paralympic medal. At the same time, will we now respect disability more, celebrate people more, accord them more dignity? There has to be a larger societal change. You cannot be a medal winner to get the basic dignity and respect. Do you think this Paralympics can set up the foundation for a better India, Suhas? Because that is also your role, in your administrative.
Yes, it's a very good question. In fact, I would say this Paralympics is a watershed moment in Indian sports and in Indian society in general. I say it with a lot of responsibility when I make that statement. I was having another day, around 2 days ago, conversation with the TV footage coverage teams that worked for DD Sports and in Tokyo, essentially, who made the footages. It was shown live across. For the first time in the country, para sports were shown in a professional way and it was enjoyed. Essentially, you have been in broadcasting business for quite long. At the end of the day, entertainment sells. Sympathy does not sell. So competitive sport always sells. So if you look at how my match against Lucas Mazur was viewed across, people who are calling me up, so they are not telling that Lucas Mazur and you had some sort of differential ability, and nobody is sympathizing with me or Lucas. They enjoyed the match just like they would enjoy the match between Shrikant and Lee Chong Wei. So when the para sports become entertaining, it will automatically get viewership, it will automatically sells. That is one broadcasting part of it. Second part, I would say, if you are changing because of social media, because of increased awareness, you are seeing generally society is celebrating victory or para sports in general, competition of para sports in a very mature way, like they celebrate any other sports for that matter. In fact, I think never before the medals of Paralympics have been celebrated to the extent that it is being seen now. Definitely going forward, many myths will be broken. There was a myth regarding sports and studies cannot go together. Many people ask me this question. In fact, this is one of the most common questions. This you can do studies also, you can do sports also. These are all social myths that need to be broken. Going forward, you will definitely see there will be before Tokyo and after Tokyo in our sporting history.
I think so too. And frankly, the last point was what Gaurav also alluded to with the university. Today, if we talk about the US, if we talk about the West, if we talk about Canada, the United Kingdom, ultimately, where do the athletes come from? They come from the academic sector, D1. They come from, where is the best facilities in the United Kingdom? It's at Loughborough University. When I teach at the University of Toronto, the kid track is a multi-million-dollar facility for athletes. So the whole Western integration of sport with academia is something India needs to get to. And the UGC has fair amount of money. The sports ministry needs to talk to that. That's where we eventually have to get if we need a revolution. So Suhas is absolutely spot on. Last 3 minutes on the show. Gaurav, yes, the immediate has been achieved. You've outlined your vision also. But one important thing, and we can't undermine the importance of medals, Gaurav. You know, had it been 1 out of 54 or 2 out of 54, Suhas just said things have not been celebrated. अरे यार मिला ही नहीं था. बीजिंग में तो एक भी था नहीं. लंदन में एक था गिरीशा. रियो में था 4. बट वो 4 ठीक है. वो 4 को भी ऐसा हम लोगों को पता ही नहीं था कि यार ऐसे हो सकता है. Now all of a sudden you have 19 and they are, you know, in your face. The Prime Minister is doing this. Sports Minister is doing this. एक civil servant जीत गया. So all of this has helped create this massive groundswell. But you know what my fear is, Gaurav? And this is a fear that हम ना IPL आ रहा है, IPL में चले जाएंगे. Cricket World Cup आ रहा है, हम Cricket World Cup में चले जाएंगे. And that Abhinav Bindra statement that an Olympic Games doesn't come every 4 years, it's every day. वो बेटा होगा नहीं. हम फिर 3 साल बाद जगेंगे पेरिस के समय. How do you stop that, Gaurav? How, as a stakeholder in the bigger picture, how do you keep parasport, Olympic sport in people's vision constantly? Your thoughts?
See, the concern is, you very well know that if you assume few plants in your garden, you start giving same type of treatment to all the plants, but still some plant grow taller than other. So the concern is nowadays, basically you guys, I want to tell about media. When we were in Tokyo and we celebrated our medals, what I realized, seeing the messages on my mobile, it was junked with a number of messages around. Everyone was trying to get in touch with the medal winners. And you guys have bridged the gap between the society and the medal winners. And we all, you have given us the thought that we are being celebrated in India and there is a festival going on. Everyone was, even those who are, we never informed them about that, in which part I have been working since last many years. And frankly speaking, not everyone has praised what in which field I have been devoting by maximum of my time. So the concern is, you guys have played an important role this time, and you have definitely given us a feeling of a champion and what we have done, and we are the role models, and what we have achieved is definitely a very, 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 very crucial thing and a very precious thing, which what we have done there. You made us realize this is one. Point number 2, see, our intention or our efforts are not to stop other sports to be covered by media or anyone to get more privilege. It is only the perspective of the society that needs to be changed, and that has been changing. What we have realized is, see, either we talk about disability or we talk about sports. Here, when Suhas, if in case have already, he has lost with Lucas, nobody is going to give any excuse to Suhas that he has lost to Suhas. He has just lost a match. Disability is nowhere around. It was a match. It was a crucial match. It was a 64 strokes rally going on. Suhas has to cover stroke. Suhas has to play with offensive game. Suhas has to play brain game. He has to cover the court all around. His defense sheet needs to be very strong in order to reply the smashes of Lucas. So in any case, nobody is going to excuse us because of our physical constraint or disability. So when we talk on sports, it is only the winning and the losing which matters, and winning is totally which require the ingredients of hard training with a specific professional approach. So the media, once they realize, definitely they will cover us the same way.
Okay. Suhas, last words from you. I mean, for me, what has happened is, when I used to do shows on parasport, even the way during Tokyo, during the able-bodied games, I used to say I will cover Paralympics with equal intensity and start building up. People would hardly watch. I mean, I did a I would do a cricket broadcast, I'll get 100,000 views. If I do a broadcast on anything else, I'll get 2,000 people watching. All of a sudden, everything has changed. By the way, I've done 76 shows on parasport in some 12, 13 days, or 15, whatever, 76 shows. I stopped doing cricket during, even the test match was going on, I was doing Olympic and Paralympic shows. And that is because I want to do. But at the same time, I am also answerable to the market. If people don't consume me, who am I? People started consuming me. People started consuming me because a Suhas Yathiraj was giving me a medal to tell a story. So tell me that. How important is that medal for you now to pass on the message to the future Suhas Yathirajas that, yeah, you can do this. बिकॉज यार तुम तो एक जीतोगे दो जीतोगे बट मेरे लिए तुम इंपॉर्टेंट नहीं हो अगर तुमको देख के थाउजेंड्स आ जाता है ना तो रेवोल्यूशन हो जाएगा मुझे वो चाहिए हम तीनों मिलके हम 30 मिलके 300 मिलके अगर वो कर दिया हमने नेक्स्ट 10 साल में देन वी डोंट हैव टू प्ले अ रोल देन आवर इंडिया हैज अराइव्ड दैट इज वेयर आई वांट टू गेट टू Suhas.
Very rightly said, Burya. If a boy from a remote corner of Karnataka can come to where he is right now, it generally creates an impression. It generally inspires other people also to have this confidence that we might fail in life, but there is always next opportunity and there is always room for success and they can succeed big time. With regards to the right point that you said, how do we, I was seeing the other day your tweet also, wherein you said it should not be cricket or it should be cricket and. Yes, we as a nation, I do believe we are moving towards that. I used to play cricket. I am a cricket lover myself. It's not that, I love cricket immensely, but I love my badminton probably more. So we are moving towards that. The key point, the moot point is entertainment. In today's world of social media, visual media, essentially, entertainment sells. We need to find out ways. In fact, if you have been in the broadcasting business, you know how cricket used to be covered by visual media, say 10 or 20 years ago. Now, how the drones, the analysis, everything. It has made cricket more entertaining. So we have to learn the tricks of the trade of visual broadcasting. We have to make para sports or for that matter, even non-cricketing sports more entertaining. You have for this example of Paralympics wherein the broadcasting was made very entertaining and people enjoyed it. Why is IPL famous? IPL is famous because it entertains people. So we need to move towards that, and there is definitely an increased social awareness amongst all levels, not only in urban areas, rural areas, across India. I see increased awareness. I am sure, as we discussed, this is definitely a watershed moment. There will be a before Tokyo and after Tokyo. Probably when we discuss in future, we will definitely see Paris would have 2 or 3 times the medal tally that we had in Tokyo.
Fantastic. I'll finish there because clearly that is the vision. While we have 2 or 3 times the medals tally, more importantly, 200 or 300 times more sensitization would have happened among the masses. And the respectability quotient or the dignity quotient would be that much more. And also anybody with any kind of disability or able-bodied people will take to sport. Suhas was still playing sport before Gaurav spotted him. And that's what I want everybody watching this broadcast to do. Not necessarily you will go and win a medal, but to be a better individual, a healthier individual, a more all-round individual, go play sport. Make this man your role model. Because as you can see, you can become a civil servant and a successful civil servant and continue to play sport. Look at Gaurav, Dronacharya, yet continuing to give it back to society. That's what all of us want. We need a better India. And these guys have laid the foundations of a better India. So Suhas said it was his pleasure to talk to me. I'll say, no, it's mine. So it's entirely mine because ultimately these people are crusaders for change. And that's why I have, deep respect, deep pleasure in talking to them. Because as I said, they are harbingers of change and this country is proud to have them. Suhas and Gaurav, I'm sure I'll speak to you very soon again in October at the India Today conclave. Hopefully that will be physical because it will be great. Gaurav, you owe me that t-shirt of Suhas, by the way, for all your students for the museum. So वो sign करा के आप मुझे दो. and I'm
Only
going to see
Suhas
it.
के sign रह गया है, rest all are done.
So then beautiful. Suhas से India Today conclave के दिन sign करा के उसको museum में डालेंगे, because one has to inspire future generations. Thank you very much, Suhas. Thank you, Gaurav, for your time. Thank you very much.
Thank you.